In this video you will see how a basic honeypot works. The honeypot it's free, the one that I'm using, and it's running on a Windows 10. I will be scanning this Windows 10 machine for any open ports from a Kali Linux machine. They're both virtual machines. First I need to see what the IP address is, and here's my IP address for the Windows 10. And then I will do the scan with my Kali Linux, and what I want you to see is that the way it looks when the honeypot is not working or it's not running. And I want you to see the ports that are open. I can ping it. That's a good sign. That means that there is communication between my Linux machine and my Windows 10. But now we're ready to go. I will do the scan now, and I will be using this tool. It's called ZenMap. It's a GUI version of Nmap, and it's included in Kali Linux. Remember that the purpose of a honeypot is to make intruders believe that there is actually something, that their service is running on the target machine, but in reality there's nothing. That just buys time for the system admin, so he or she can do an investigation while keeping the intruders busy, believing that there is services running on the target machine. Let's do a quick scan. I just want to see the ports that are open on my target machine. There's the IP address of my target machine, 192.168.42.132, and these are the ports that are open on the machine. There's 4 ports at the moment. Remember that the honeypot, it's not running yet. So next, let's run the honeypot and add some services. These are the options that you have. One of the options is you can have emails be sent to you when there's any alerts. This is one of the most common services, the web services, and by default it uses port 80. I will leave everything the default. I'm not going to change anything, including the default ports for these services. So we got port 80 running already, which it looks like it's a web server. Then we have FTP services, and FTP uses port 21 by default. Now we have a telnet server. Telnet by default, it uses port 23. And we have an SMTP, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol server. This is for emails, and it uses port 25 by default. So far I have 4 different services running. I added port 80, 21, 23, and 25. So we should see those ports when I do another scan. Let me just make sure that it's running. And here it is. There's a message there giving me the timestamp when the service was started. Now what I need to do, I need to go back and scan it again. Remember that there's 4 ports right now, so I should see the new ports that I just started with my honeypot. And here they are. At the very top you see FTP, that's port 21, and we see 23, which is telnet. Then we see SMTP 25, that's for emails, and HTTP, which is my web server, port 80, on top of the other four ports that were already running without the honeypot.